Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you my first impressions and doing some swatches from my most recent palette purchase. And this one was a little bit of an impulse buy for me. Let's let Kitty go. She wants to go. Bye-bye. So I already had to buy something else at Sephora, and it was like one of those situations where you had to get to like a certain dollar amount before you got like some sort of deal or whatever. And so I picked up a palette that I've been sort of looking at on the website, but it is the Sephora brand, and I've purchased a lot of Sephora brand eyeshadows in the past, and they tend to be very hit and miss in my personal opinion. I have some Sephora palettes that I absolutely love, and then I have other Sephora palettes that I never touch because I just really don't like them. So it was really like a gamble to pick this up, but I took a look at some of the reviews and people said that it swatched pretty well, so now I'm about to put that to the test. So let me just go ahead and show you what I bought. So it is the MOSCHINO, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't really know. MOSCHINO plus Sephora collaboration here. So it is the laptop palette. So you may have seen this before, or like on the website or something like that. I have whoa, what just happened with my, there we go, that was weird. So I have noticed that not a lot of other YouTubers have really talked about this palette or any Sephora brand makeup very much, because I know it's not really like considered high-end. It's more like high-end of the drugstore kind of scale in terms of quality and stuff, and so I never see like other beauty YouTubers talking about them at all. So I thought maybe for those of you who want to check this out, it is on sale right now. Regular price I believe was like, well, my prices are in Canadian dollars, but I believe it was like 50 something Canadian before, and it's down to 25 or 30, so it's a pretty good deal right now for what you get, because it's quite a large palette, as you can see. So as much as I have said in the past, I don't like big palettes, I really don't. I felt like this one was just, sorry I keep bumping my computer here. This one was just on the borderline of being too big for me, personally, because I'll just show you a size comparison once I take it out of the package here, because I have some of my other larger palettes with me, just so that you can kind of see, because sometimes it's hard to tell, like, the true scale of things. So this is the packaging that it came in, like, the packaging for the palette. So it's in a kind of a weird package where you just, it's got, like, a cardboard back, and you just kind of slide it out. It's kind of cheap, in my opinion, but that's not the actual like palette packaging, it's the packaging around the packaging, so to speak. So like it didn't really bother me that much. I mean, it would have been nice if it came in more of a like luxury type box, but it's Sephora brand, so like I said, so you kind of get what you get. So I just removed the back piece. It is taped on, I just removed that ahead of time, so it's not like it's at risk of opening up on you or anything like that. So let me just show you the size comparison. So this is the laptop palette, and then I have beside me here one of my, actually I guess now it is my largest palette that I really don't like using because it's so large. It's also a Sephora palette, but I'll just show you the difference. So I'm holding them at around the same distance from the camera. So as you can see, this one is smaller, but it's also a lot thinner. Like if I hold them side by side, it's a lot thinner and it's a lot lighter. So it is way less clunky than this guy, which was kind of my main concern, was I was going to get this and it was going to be too big. I have another Sephora palette that I've said before is like right on the borderline of being too big for me personally. So that's the iPad one. It's funny, they're both like tech inspired, I guess. But this one is about on par, like size-wise, as you can see here, for both width and weight even is very similar. This one might be a tad bit heavier, but yeah, so for me, the size, I mean, it's a little large, but for me, it's okay. It's thin enough. It's going to be easy enough to store. So let's just open this up. So one criticism, well, I have a couple of criticisms so far just on my first impression, okay? So the first one is that it does not close very well. Like it doesn't have a clip or like one of those buttons that you have to push to like open it, and it doesn't have a magnet or anything, so it's literally just like nothing's holding it securely down. Like there's no, I don't need any effort, it's just kind of sitting closed, if that makes sense. So that's kind of annoying because I feel like if you're putting this in your bag or something, or you want to travel with it or anything like that, you don't want it to just flap open, you know what I mean? So that's not ideal. I wish it had some sort of mechanism, even just magnetic, to keep it, you know, wanting to stay closed at all times. So that's my first like criticism. The second thing I don't particularly love is that, so let's take a look at the inside here. So as you can see, there are names for the shades, but those names are not on the palette itself. They're on this plastic sheet that comes off, of course. So that's another criticism I have, just because personally I like to be able to, maybe this is because I do YouTube and stuff, but I like to be able to see what shade I'm using as I'm using it. And the fact that they're on this like plastic sheet that I'm probably, let's be honest, going to toss in the garbage, then I have no idea what shade I'm using, the shade name and stuff. So if I wanted to sort of walk you guys through a look, I won't really be able to do that. So what I personally did is I took my phone and I took a picture of the plastic sheet over top of the shades so that I could toss this, and then I'll just have to refer back to the photograph. But that's kind of annoying to have to do that. Like, I would much rather have it be similar to like the way, for example, Too Faced, this palette here, I just grabbed it because it was beside me, but you can see the shade names are right underneath each shade, or above each shade, I should say. So it's easy to reference it, right? So that's another like slight criticism that I have. But there is one thing I want to point out that's a huge positive in my opinion, is the mirror on it. So the mirror, you can't really, it's hard to tell without showing you guys. Like, I face like a window, so all you're gonna see in behind me is like a big window there, and it's gonna be hard to really show you, but the mirror is huge. It's like the entire size of the palette, which is great. I love the fact that it has a huge mirror, and the mirror like seems like a pretty good mirror. Like, it's not like, it doesn't feel like one of those plastic sheets that just looks mirror-like. Like, it feels like it's truly like a mirror. It comes with like a protective seal over it, so I'm gonna have to peel that off at some point as well. But the mirror, I would say, is really good for the price point. At least, like I said, I got it on sale. I don't know if this would really be worth it at the full price, I'm gonna be honest, but I don't know, I haven't swatched it yet. So those are just my initial thoughts. And then one more thing I want to mention, because this was something that actually surprised me, and I guess it probably shouldn't have, because I'm sure it said it in the description of the product before I bought it, but I didn't read that. I just kind of like looked at it and liked it. But this right here, when I saw this online, I thought this was just like a sparkly black eyeshadow. I don't know why I thought that, I just did, but it's not. It's actually like a sponge. It's a sponge that you can use to, I believe the only thing I can think of why that would be there is to clean your brushes with it. So if you have like a brush and you've used it in a shadow and then you want to switch to another shadow, you can like dust it off kind of in that and then go into another shadow. So, I mean, that's fine. I guess I don't really mind that it's there, although it wouldn't have been like a huge selling point for me personally, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I probably won't use it that much, but it's there if you want it. So let me just, I'm gonna take the seal off the mirror for a moment, because that's distracting. And let me just see if that made a difference with the way it closes. No, it didn't. So I thought maybe that was preventing the magnetization of the palette from closing properly, but it didn't. So it still doesn't magnetize shut or anything like that, just so you guys are aware. So let me go ahead and start doing some swatches of this thing for you guys. I mean, I think the design's cool, like the fact that they made it look like a keyboard, and even if you've taken a closer look at this, or you can check it out right now, is that they've even made certain pans larger to look like the space bar and like the shift keys and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of cool. Like, I like that idea. But really what it comes down to is how well it's going to perform. So I got some clean arms here, and I'm going to start doing swatches. I'm going to reference my sheet with the shade names, but basically, if you have this palette and you want to, like, I don't know, follow along, I'm just going across left to right, you know, top row down and stuff. So first shade is called Bought. It feels really creamy, honestly, when I'm touching it with my finger. This is literally my first time ever even touching these. I have not swatched it at all yet, so. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Ooh, you know what? It's actually not bad. Like I said, these Sephora brand makeups are like really hit and miss, and At the end of this video, I'll show you the other ones I own and let you know what I think of those in terms of quality and stuff. But so far, like that shade, I like that. It's very reflective, feels very creamy. So the next shade across is At. It's called At, like a little at symbol, you know. Texture feels the same. It looks like it's another shimmer kind of shade. So that's that one. It's very close to my skin tone, so it's hard to see, but it is basically like a very light peachy pink shimmer, like a little bit, you know, definitely a lot more pink undertones than the first shade. The first one's a little more yellow. Okay, so next we have the shade Watt. And this looks like it's the first matte shade I'm going to be swatching. Feels really good. Feels really buttery. Looks very pigmented on my finger. So let's see how that performs. Ooh, yes, that's a really good matte. It's I don't have too many oranges in my collection to compare it to, but it's very good. Like, it's very pigmented. Like, I'm quite impressed with the way that matte performed. So let me just dust my finger off here and go into the next shade, which is called System. This is like the, you know, basic matte brown that is kind of a staple for most people. Feels good. Again, this one has a little bit of kind of like kickback, I guess. Like, it's a little bit more powdery than the last shade, I think. We'll see. Looks good. Looks good. Doesn't look super patchy or anything. If you're wondering, like, I've got some nicks on my hand or on my arm from my cat, so if things look a little wonky or like chunky in any way, it's probably just because I have some little scratches that are healing from my cats. All right, so next, those are the two mattes, and then we're going to go back to a shimmer, which is called Zeta. It looks really pretty. Feels like the same formula as the first two that I swatched of the shimmers. Ooh, yes. Feels really buttery. Like, so that's what that looks like. Pretty. This is honestly, like, so far, and I'm not just saying this, you guys, because it's like the newest one I've bought, and I mean, it might have something to do with it. Like, obviously people feel a certain way about new things when they get them, and it's kind of like fun to try them out for the first time and all that stuff. But like, as far as how it compares to my other Sephora brand makeup, this one is so far, like, I would say this is probably gonna rank like the highest on the list. Like, this is a really good palette so far. So the next shade I'm gonna swatch for you is called Firewall. It's a matte orange. Really pretty. Yeah, that's really nice. And then I've got a shade called Y2K next. Oh, that's interesting. So in the actual pan, it looks like a pink shade. But once I put it on my arm, it's actually orange. Like, it's actually like mostly like a shimmery orange. So that's, is it a duochrome maybe? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a duochrome, because when I'm tilting this palette to one side or the other, it looks like from straight dead on, it looks red. Like, well, not red, but like pink. And then when I tilt it, it looks yellow. So it is kind of like a pink to orange to yellow shifting shade. I don't think you can really see it in the swatch, but you can see it in the pan, the way it's doing that. So that's cool. I really love duochromes and multichromes. They're so interesting to work with. So yeah, I like that. So the next one is called Artificial Intelligence. It looks like it's going to be a very metallic gold kind of shade. Let me add a little more onto that. I didn't really pick up the best swatch with my finger. So that's that one. It is like a sparkly gold, basically. Perfect. And then the next one is a matte black, so called Matrix. Once again, that's another, like, me personally, I would consider this kind of a con with this palette, is that they added a matte black shade. I know some people like that, but I just have so many in my collection now that it's like I really didn't need another matte black. But it performs well, like a typical matte black, you know. It's not like too dusty, which is nice. It's quite pigmented. I feel like a little would go a long way with that black. Okay, so that was the whole first row. Now we're gonna go to the second row. So the first shade is Bionic. Ooh, this on my finger looks so reflective. It literally looks like liquid metal. So let's see how it looks in a swatch. Yes, that's so pretty. It's like a liquid metal. It honestly, it's truly comparable to like some of my more high-end metallic makeup. Like I have the chocolate gold palette from Too Faced, and it is, let me just for fun, let me swatch one of the metallic silvers that's in here next to it, just to do a comparison. So let me do Rich Girl from the Too Faced chocolate gold palette. It's a little more of a golden, so like it's got some, it's a warmer silver, I should say, but you'll be able to see in terms of quality. So I'm just gonna put it beside on this side so that it doesn't get confusing. But do you see how, maybe that one's a little too gold. Let me try a different Too Faced shade. My pants are gonna be so dirty after this. Let me try Dripping Diamonds from Too Faced. Yeah, that one's probably closer, much closer to the same color. So let me do it on this side. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to turn myself. But it is comparable. It's like not quite as dark, but that's just because it's like a slightly different shade. But like in terms of the intensity of the metallic, it's quite good. Like it's, I'm honestly shocked that it performed that well. So that's pretty cool. All right, next is another matte. So it's called Software. Let me just get all this off my finger. I'll do a couple in a row actually, because there's three, well, there's a bunch of mattes coming up, so I'm just gonna swatch them sort of all together. Let's do this. So we've got Software first. That one's a little bit more, it's one of the weaker shades I think in the palette. It's not performing quite as well as the others. The next one is Restart. Ooh, see, compared to that one, like this one's much better than, it's a little crumbly because I picked up a little bit much on my finger, but I feel like that one's so much more, you know, it's much better, I think. Yeah, I like that. It's like a bright orangey red. And then we've got Optics is the last one here. There we go. That one's a little bit patchy. I don't know if you can see that, but it does look a little bit patchy to me. That middle shade though is killer. So those are really good. All right. Ooh, I'm running out of space here. So I think I'm gonna switch arms, start doing some on this arm. Getting a little dusty over here. So next we have a Hot Pink. This one feels a little stiffer in the pan than the other mattes, so we'll see if that translates into the swatch. And then so does the following one after that. So I'm wondering, I don't know, we'll see. So this is Display. You know what? It's like pretty good. It reminds me of Trisha from the Conspiracy palette, except obviously this one's a matte and the other one's a shimmer. But that's that one. And then we've got Insert. This one again looks a little patchy, but like in terms of pigmentation, it's very pigmented. It's just, I'm not sure how it's gonna look on the eye. Like I'm gonna have to wait and see. When I don't want to wash my hand off, I just use my own saliva. So next is a good transition shade called Shell. Ooh, I dipped in with my finger really hard and it was like too hard. Like looks like you don't need to go in super hard with a brush or with your finger. Okay, ooh, I really like how that looks. I love that, the tone of that. Like, it's very neutral, and I mean, obviously it's a beige, so it's gonna be neutral, but it's not like overly warm, like some beigey colors kind of have been lately. Okay, next we have the third row. So we're gonna start with Avatar and then Joystick, and these are both shimmer shades as well. Avatar. It's like a very light pastel blue. It's hard to really see on my skin tone, but and Joystick is like a very, very light purple. It would, oh, it's so like, it's so light. Like it's not super pigmented. Like it's more of like a shimmery topper, I would say. Yeah, you almost can't see it, but. So next we have Refresh and Escape are the next two shimmer shades. They're getting a little darker now. Let's see. What's that? Should show up better on my skin tone. Well, this one's really chunky. When I swatched it, I kind of had to rub it in there, but that is Refresh. And the next one is Escape. Escape's not quite as good either. I would say that's another one of the weaker shades in this palette. And then we got two more mattes on this row, which is like a purple and a deeper brown. So the purple one is called, wait, sorry, I'm just, okay, Avatar, I'm just gonna go over the names again because I think I messed them up. Avatar, Joystick, Refresh, oh, okay, I must have missed one. Which one did I skip over? I skipped over Refresh and then I messed up the other ones. So let me do Refresh really quick. I skipped one. Sorry about that, you guys. It's another shimmer shade, but it's they're all purples all next to each other, and I must have completely overlooked this one. I think it was this one. Yeah, you can see that that one is not already swatched. It's, yeah, it's not the greatest. And then, okay, so that's Refresh. And then Escape and Data are those two there. And now we're going in with Monitor. Such a good purple. Such a good purple. Like, it's a little powdery, but the pigmentation is really, really good. Yeah, I think that's really good for a purple. Purples are kind of tough to get right, I've heard. So there's that one, and then the last one on this row is Hardwire, I'm sorry. And it's like a dark chocolate brown. Beautiful brown shade. It's very good for, in terms of color payoff. Yeah, I like that. All right, so now we're down to the last row. I'm running out of arm space, so I might start doing some on this side of my arm or something, I don't know. I'm running out. Okay, so we got Virtual Reality first. This is a really cool color. It's like a lime green shimmer. Like, look at that. It looks really cool. So let's see how that looks. Come on, camera, focus. No, I know it looks crumbly, but I think it's because I'm getting so far down my arm that, like, it's not as smooth of skin there. So it almost looks like a mustard yellow when it's on, but it is pretty green in person. Like, it's a greeny mustard yellow, I guess. And then the next one is a matte, similar to the shade What's the Tea from the Conspiracy palette. It's like a mint green kind of color. I'm gonna start doing them like over here because I'm running out of space. Like, I'll do some on my hand and stuff. So that's that one. Now we have like a dark forest green color called So that was Transfer, by the way. That's the name of the shade. Next one is called Shortcut. Ooh, it's like an emerald green. It's like a shimmer. It reminds me of that shade, again, from the Conspiracy palette that everybody wanted them to include, and then they took it out and then they added it back in at the last minute. I think they named the shade Put It Back or something because everybody liked it. So that's very, very similar to that one, I think. Yeah. Next we have Status, and that's the big spacebar color. It's like a shimmery gold, so we'll see. I mean, they put this one in the largest pan in the palette, so for that reason it makes me think it's like going to be a standout shade. But it looks pretty good. It's like a gold. Oh yeah. This gold is so... It's like the silver. Remember the silver I said that was similar to the quality of Too Faced? This one is too, and I'm going to grab that chocolate gold palette and do another comparison for you, because it really is. They have a large shade in there too called Chocolate Gold, the large bar one right there, that I think is almost a dupe. Like, I think this could be a dupe for it, honestly. It looks like the exact same shade. So let's see. So that's Chocolate Gold, and I'm going to put it right above the other one. Look at that. Look how similar. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. Let me double layer this chocolate gold one just in case it changes my mind, but I don't think it's going to. But look at that. Look how similar. And I honestly feel like maybe out of the two, let me make sure it's not just the light, but out of the two, I almost prefer the Sephora one, and I never ever thought I would say that, comparing Sephora to Too Faced. Just for that one shade, because it's like a little bit more metallic, believe it or not, compared to the Too Faced chocolate gold one. But it's a dupe. Like, it's a for sure dupe for the chocolate gold one. So that's interesting. Like, almost two dupes in there. I mean, this one's a little bit different. Like, the tone is a little, like, it's a lot lighter compared to the Too Faced version. But they are very incredibly similar. Like, I can't believe those two golds. They're like identical. Anyway, moving on. So next there is a shade called Future. Okay, Future. It's another metallic. It's a little darker, I guess, and more blue. It's almost like a, let me layer it up a little just because that was a really bad swatch that I did. Yeah, so you can see that one's very metallic as well. It's a little blue. It's a little more blue, like it's like a turquoisey blue undertone. And then we have Cyberspace. This one looks really cool in the pan. I feel like it might be a duochrome again, just based on looking at it. Ooh, it looks really cool, you guys, on my finger and stuff. It's like a dark blue, but it looks like it has some purple in it and stuff. It's like very dragony. I don't know. So, oh yeah. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, yeah. It's definitely a duochrome. You can see that it's got like a red burgundy kind of undertone with some blue turquoise. Yeah, that's super cool. That looks very similar to a shade that I actually have from Cliona, called one of their duochromes called Wormwood. I'm gonna swatch that next to it as well. Sorry to keep doing that. I know I'm making the video kind of long, but I just can't believe how many dupe shades are in here. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me just see here. Find the right one. Oh, I can tell already. I can tell already because it looks like similar in the pan. So these are my Cliona shadows and some other random singles. This is the one I'm thinking of from Cliona. It's called Wormwood, and it looks very, very similar to this. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna swatch it right above it like I did with the Too Faced one. Like, it's almost identical. I mean, the Cliona one's has a bit better color payoff. Like, I think it's like a better version, but like in terms of, like, it's got a little more of that purple in it compared to like the pinky purple when I hold it there. You can see a big difference. but then when I go into the light, like, it's interesting how close they are. I'm trying to get all the different angles for you guys here, but it's hard. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit different. It's not 100% identical, but it's very, very close. Like, same shift to that. Interesting. Okay, I'm learning new things here. All right, and then we've got the last shade here, and it's called Bite. And it looks like it's a turquoise shimmer. Or more of a teal, I guess I would say. Like, it's a dark teal shimmer. This area of my hand is kind of hard to swatch on, so forgive me. I'm just gonna feel like I'm not doing it justice unless I kind of go over to it's very intensely pigmented. I like that. So those are all the shades in here, and honestly, I wasn't sure what this video was gonna be like, because this is the first time I've swatched them. I wanted to do it on camera to get like an authentic reaction, but honestly, I'm impressed. Like, some of those metallics that are like completely amazing dupes of the chocolate, like, it's just, honestly, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. This is my favorite Sephora brand eyeshadow palette that I've ever bought. And let me just show you the other ones I have. Well, this video is getting pretty long. Maybe I will stop this one here, and then I will talk about all of my Sephora palettes in another video, just comparing them and telling you guys what I think about Sephora brand and how to maybe spot, because I do have some thoughts on which ones may be a better bet and which ones are probably not so good from Sephora brand, because they are really hit and miss. But I hope you guys like this video. Like, I am shook by like how good some of these shades were. I mean, there were a couple duds in there, I'm not gonna lie. There were a couple of the matte shades that just didn't perform super well, but some of the other ones, like that gold, I can't even with that gold. It's okay. So I can't wait to try this on my eyes, and let me know in the comments below if you have this palette. If you haven't purchased this palette, get it while it's on sale right now, because I'm guessing after that it's going to be gone. Like, I don't think it's a permanent thing, you know. It's kind of a gimmicky, like, laptop inspired palette. Like, I don't think they're going to keep that in the permanent collection type thing. But for the amount of money that you can get it for now, it's like, it's only like $30 or something like that, or $28 Canadian, even less American, because American dollar is worth more. So if you haven't got this palette, like, honestly, get it. It's good. It's good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It's like really, really good. So hopefully this was informative for you guys, and tune in to the other video, which will be coming at a later date, about all my Sephora brand palettes, and kind of going over what I like and don't like about certain ones. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you could subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys.